everyone. How y'all doing? Happy Tuesday. Yes, terrific Tuesday. It's terrific Tuesday. So I'm trying to do this angle so that you won't see the glare. That's the goal. But anyway, how y'all doing? Welcome to Conversations from Paris. We're going to get it started because I'm not here to delay. Can you just say hi so I can know you're here, please? So I can know y'all lovely people. Hey, Leah, girl. How you doing, girl? How are you? It's good to see y'all. Hey, Tracy, girl. Come through. Y'all let me know y'all here. I'm trying to make sure that I see y'all. It's hard sometimes with the platform, but I want to just say hi to y'all if I know you're here. How was your weekend? So hear this. After the year that we've had, my job finally, we have MLK off. Martin Luther King's birthday yesterday off. That was the first time ever. And so I was super excited for a long 3-day weekend, but also just to observe the holiday in these times right now was amazing. It was definitely good for me, and definitely feeling good about, just being able to kind of rest up, but also be in observation of all of the things that came from Martin Luther King, right? So it was good for me. I hope you guys had a restful weekend. I hope that you did something nice for yourself. Y'all know how I say, right? Do something nice for yourself. All right. So, Leah, you say you're wonderful. I am happy to hear that, honey. Yes. It's all about making sure that you, self-assess, right? And even if you're not good, say it. Let's talk about why you're not good, right? And so that kind of leads us to this topic. Hey, Tracy, girl. It kind of leads us into this topic. I told you guys that we are I had a series for January that was not necessarily announced, but I feel like everyone talks about the new year, what new things they're going to do. And so I just kind of deemed it, the newness of the year. Let's talk about things, right? So here we go. I'm sure you guys saw the topic, but just in case you didn't, y'all don't mind me. I love these earrings. I just got them not too long ago. Well, I didn't just get them, but I'm just wearing them for the first time, and I love them. They're kind of big, but I think they're cute. So don't mind me. I'm gonna mess with them a little bit. Y'all know. It's just an illusion. Y'all remember that song? It's just an illusion. Oh. Y'all know I can't sing, but that's okay. That song came to mind when I thought about talking. And, I like to have a catchy topic, something that you guys can kind of relate to. But I thought about that and I said, that's what we're going to talk about today. How does it relate to the newness and the new year, right? And new you and new stuff. And I think that what I would like us to do is to assess the lens that we see out of, right? I tell most people that everything is a perspective shift, right? It's how you look at things, right? We've heard of the looking at stuff half full and half empty and, all those things. But I'm sorry, y'all, I'm going to adjust this until I think it's right. But we talk about the glass half full, glass half empty, all those things. But are we really being honest about how we see things? And I know some stuff is perspective and perception, but some stuff is just a reality, the current reality versus what we want it to be. And I know you guys, this is a fine line I'm about to walk. And I want you guys to give me some grace here because this is hard with my current journey Because you grow and evolve, and things change for you, and the way you think about things change. But I wanted to be very thoughtful about how I spoke about this, um, especially me being a woman of faith, um, and having faith, right, and hope. I think it's very careful. I'm being more careful about what I used to say. Back in the day, I used to tell people, like, you got to deal in truth and reality. Like, dreamers, this is what I used to say. Dreamers, are in a fantasy world. It's good to dream, but you got to have some form of reality to stick to. And I thought that I didn't believe that at all anymore. I thought that I was completely the other end of it, right? Because I have resurrected, and I talked about this a little bit, I've resurrected the dreamer inside of me, right? That was something that died out of, I don't know if I would say necessity, but out of the situation, right? In me, right? So it was something that happened, and I became super practical, super logical. But I did not dare allow myself to dream past whatever my current reality was. And so if you guys hear me in the last year, not even the whole year, definitely it's been a transformation, me resurrecting the dreamer inside of me, realizing that what you say will become. I even talk about the you are enough. Like, even if you don't believe it today, you say it enough, you hear it enough, you will start to believe it. And so how can Paris, I'm speaking in the third person, how can I say that, it's about looking at reality versus, what you hope for? And the way I can say it is this: there are some things that you can will to happen. There are some things you can kind of speak and say, hey, this is what I want it to be. And this is what I'm shooting towards. And without having to say the opposite of it, right? And then there are things that that just are, and they might not be able to change because they're like a static thing, right? And then there are things where you can speak what the reality is, and then speak what you hope to be, without dismissing what the current is, right? I think that's really hard for some people, and we need to really talk about it, right? Because I believe wholeheartedly that if you don't deal in your reality, you're not going to correctly assess what you need in this next season. Does that make sense? I'm all about speaking positivity. I'm all about talking about, like, seeing a future for me, doing vision boards, talking about what I want and speaking into reality. I also believe that all those things are true, not taken away from any of those things, but we have to learn to take inventory, our current inventory, to see where we're at, to figure out what can we do to help us along the way, right? There's no genie, right? There's no, you wake up one day, and all of a sudden everything that you've hoped and wished is just sitting in front of you. I don't believe faith works like that. And don't want to just talk about faith, but I know this is probably going to be slightly controversial subject for people that are of faith, because they're like, wait, that's speaking against everything we're talking about. No, it's not. It's not. Remember, we talked about mutual exclusive, things being mutually exclusive. It's not this or that. It could be both and, right? Right. So I can say that I'm going to be a philanthropist. I'm going to be very wealthy so I can help a lot of people. I really want to be somebody that can help lots of people. I'm the lender, not the borrower. That can be my testimony. That could be what I hope to be. In the same exact breath, I can say, I'm currently building my financial portfolio. I'm currently learning financial literacy. I'm not quite there, but I'm on the path. And the things that I need is maybe working on my credit. I need to work on, my debt to income ratio. Like, you see what I said. I can speak into existence that I will be a future millionaire or philanthropist, and that I'm going to be the lender, not the borrower. But I can also say that I'm working currently to build my financial portfolio and my financial literacy, because there are certain things I don't know yet. Why is this important? Why is it important? It's important because if you don't know what you need, you don't know how to ask for help. You don't know who to ask for help. You don't know, you don't even know what to do. What's your next steps, right? Because if you are so speaking into the future that you don't properly do your research and properly assess where you're currently at, you're not really going to move. It's going to be a whole bunch of dreaming, a whole bunch of, I'm putting it into the future, and you wonder why you don't move because there's no path. There's no path, right? And I'm very aware about the power of speaking things into existence, the power of, you know, proclaiming a thing, the power of faith, and the power of, starting to think a certain way, because when you think that way, you'll transform your mind. I wholeheartedly believe in that. That's what I'm starting to do with myself. But I do believe that even that, it starts with a assessment of where you currently are. Before you work at any restaurant or any place, the first thing they usually tell you to do is take an inventory. You take an inventory. And I believe that the first way to start this year off is that you take an inventory of what you have, what's in your arsenal. Okay. What weapons do you have? Now, some people might say, well, I have nothing. That's not true. That's not true. We all have something. We all have something. We probably have several things, but that's what taking an inventory does, is it requires you to look around. It requires you to assess the area. It requires you to look and see what things that you have that's going to assist you to get where you want to go. And even if you don't know where you necessarily want to go, you can say, well, I have this, and this. This is what I can do with that. Like sometimes when I go to cook, I'm like, I wanted to cook this, but I don't have everything. So I'll look at what I have. And did you guys know you can Google? You can put ingredients in and put the ingredients that you think that you can get something with, and recipes will come up, right? It's like the best thing ever. I found it a few times when it was super helpful when I said, oh, I have this, and that. I don't know how it goes together. And you can kind of say, ingredients, put a few things in, and then put recipe, and then see what pops up. It's like a lifesaver, right? When you don't have someone to ask. But my point, I digress. My point is, just the way that I Googled what I do have and it came up with some ideas. It's the same way you can say, well, maybe I only have $500. Maybe I only have a car, and maybe I have this. And then so you can see what you can do with those things you currently have that can assist you onto the road of what you can potentially do, or what you're supposed to be doing. I know this doesn't seem all that fun and interesting, but I'm telling you, it's very instrumental to your success. We're talking about things that are going to assist us in our journey, right? I speak on, I regularly make sure we're talking about our mental health. And part of our mental health is making sure that we are happy and whole. And how are you going to be happy and whole when you're coming into 2021? Everybody wants to throw away 2020. We want to say good riddance. We want nothing to do with the old year. But like I told you last week, if we don't set ourselves up differently, you will have the same thing that happened in 2020 that happened in 2021, just a new year. So what steps are you taking to change those things, right? Hey, Kiana girl. And so the first thing is you take the inventory, right? You take the inventory. What do you have? What do you currently have? I think it's so important, because if you run around like you've already arrived, I need y'all to hear me. If you run around this world like you've already arrived, like you don't need help from anybody, like you've already had the levels of success that you need, like you've already hit the goals that you need to hit, because you're trying to speak positive and because you're trying to speak it into existence, I guarantee you that you're going to deal with some form of it's a word for it and I'm going to mess it up, but you're going to basically deal with a altered perception issue, right? Which is, this is what I say it is, but this is really what I'm living, right? I am telling everybody I'm living at this level, but I'm really living down here. And it's not to say for anybody to shame you, for anybody to say, oh, look, I know she wasn't right or he wasn't right. It is to say, let's be honest about where we at and not over project it to seem as though we are being positive, right? There has to be a certain amount of realism. Like, for example, I'm going to school for my psychology degree. I am not currently a psychologist yet, right? For me to run around pretending like I am one is not good. It's actually fraudulent. Now people say, "Oh, well, you're going to be that, so you're right." Listen, I say it. I think I say it enough. Is that I'm not a psychiatrist. Like you can't take my opinion in the place of one licensed one, right? You should go see one. However, me not being a psychiatrist yet does not mean that I don't have knowledge on the subject yet. It also doesn't mean that I'm not knowledgeable and able to give some forms of advice, right? But for me to pretend like I have arrived at a place I'm not yet there is overshoot. And what it can do is it can make you disillusioned about what you're doing. Like for example, me, I am connecting with people that I know that are licensed psychiatrists, counselors, therapists, and also other doctors and different people who speak about things, because guess what? I can always learn something more, right? And I heard somebody say something the other day that I thought was dope. They said, while they are not a perfect person, they want to help people heal the parts of them that they've already healed, right? So basically what they were saying is that I'm not fully healed yet, right? Because we're all on our journey, but the parts that are healed of me, let me help you with those things. I thought that was a perfect way to say that. Perfect way, because we all have our stuff, right? We can all learn something, and we all have something we can, I don't know what I want to say. We all have something we can offer, but do not despise the process. Kiana said we got to do the work. That is absolutely 100% true. You cannot forgo the process. You cannot try to jump over it, right? Let's be honest, okay? There are going to be things that happen where things are accelerated, and you're like, whoa, I thought this was going to take this amount of time and it happened faster. And while that's amazing and great, the process is there for a reason. And I believe the things that happen in the process are not often celebrated. A lot of times we only celebrate the results of a thing. We don't actually celebrate the idea of the process. You know why? Because sometimes the process is hard. Sometimes the process is not pleasant. Sometimes the process does what it's supposed to do, which is work out some of the kinks of our negative thinking, of the things that we shouldn't have with us. And you don't even realize that the very thing that you begrudge is the very thing that helps you grow. I for a fact know that certain things that have processed me are necessary for me to survive on the next level, right? I had to go through these things. I wouldn't be able to do well where I'm at if I wasn't able to go through those things. Yeah, you said, don't despise small beginnings, Tracy. That's exactly what it is. I think sometimes we want to jump to the status of the results. And I've arrived. I'm here. Look at, I'm already done. I'm the person. And we don't realize that the next thing you said, Tracy, the process is necessary. It is I almost want to start a trend where we start to embrace that. It's a journey. The process, and everybody's journey and process is different. It's necessary. It's almost like you hear people talk about the crushing of the grapes. Like it's something that happens in the crushing of the grapes. It changes the molecular structure, even to make the wine, even with the fermentation. All that stuff matters. You can't just say, "Oh, I want to go from here to here." There is a process to get the things to the next level. And if you try to skip past certain processes, you won't have the same product. That's good. Okay, sorry. I know when I say certain things, I really appreciate that, because it's the idea that, you don't even realize when you're trying to rush through some things, you're not going to be who you need to be without the process that was necessary. There are some things that you need from that process that are going to equip you. I'll give you another example. So a lot of times when you're going to go on a hike or something, hey mom, I love you. When you're going to go on a hike or something, you're supposed to have the correct things that you need. Like if you have bottled water, you got to have the right shoes, you got to have the right type of clothes so that you're successful. And if you're smart, you're going to have those things so that when you start your journey, that you're going to be able to sustain it, right? And that you're going to be able to be successful in completing it by having the necessary things, right? So as you're going forth in your journey, there might be other things you might pick up that you didn't realize you needed. For example, let's say you start getting to a steep place and you start realizing that it's a little steeper and you're going to have a hard time. Maybe you find a stick, a nice branch that you can use that's going to assist you with kind of getting through and getting up some of the steep parts. Well, if you didn't look around, you probably wouldn't have realized that you need to grab that and you could have missed it, right? Or maybe as you're going, you find a tree with some shade and it's hot. And although you dress for the occasion, it's actually hotter than you assumed it would be. So now this tree's got some shade that's going to assist you to not overheating while you're on this hike. Y'all, I need y'all to stop. Don't look at my little analogies and say, oh, whatever. Hear how they relate to life, right? I'm talking about being successful on this journey called life. You don't just arrive. Nobody arrives. We don't show the process. People, the saints especially, let us say, you see my glory, but you don't know my story. That is so true. But I want to start a new trend. Let's tell the story. Tell the story, sir. Tell the story, ma'am. Tell the story. It said people will be transformed by the words of your testimony. You know why? Because that process, although you might deem it to be ugly, although you might deem it to be something that you're not that proud of, although you might deem it to be some of the hardest times, and maybe you don't want to show yourself in that light that you went through that, there is somebody literally dying in a thing that need to hear that you got out of it and how you got out of it. And that they will get the strength to be able to endure it, right? So I wish there was more transparency about how we get through life. You never know how you share. I'm a very private, I was a very private person. And I really didn't really care for people to know about what's going on with me. I used to be like, well, it's my business. People who need to know will know. I used to be real jazzy like that. But I felt that way. And I think it's because I really didn't like people to judge, and I really didn't want people to have anything negative to say, because I felt like it wasn't their business. But now what I learned is that I can't be addicted to the compliments or the complaints of people, right? The criticism. I can't be swayed by either of them, right? And as long as I'm not swayed by them, if my truth is what it is, and I'm telling you my story, then hey, guess what? This is my story. I'm going to share it with you. Maybe you don't receive it well. Maybe you have judgment, and that's your business. However, maybe 4 other people that I shared it with literally helped them get through the rest of their day, the rest of their week. Maybe they broke down in tears because what I just said to them is exactly what they're going through. And it helped them to get over the hump. I have to tell the story for the one. I get on here some days and I see one person or nobody, and it's not my problem to continue to talk how I'm talking, because there is always one person that needed to hear something I'm saying. I don't care if it's 6 people. I don't care if it's 15 or 20. But if it's one person, I really, truly, truly mean that. That heard something I said and said, you know what? Wow. Like Paris, I was like literally. And y'all have no idea sometimes. I probably should still share more of the testimonials of people, just saying that they're helped. And then you'll realize why I get on here every two days, twice a week. I do it because this is what we call to do. You know what I'm saying? My purpose is not to necessarily be on the stage or whatever, but if it's for me to share my perspective, my story, and it can help one person. Like, I'm not talking about hundreds of thousands of people. I'm saying one, because we got to get to the one, right? If you despise talking to the one, you'll never talk to 10,000, ever. If you can't talk to the one, you're never going to talk to the 10,000. So you have to get to a point where you understand this is a necessary part of it. Hey, Amanda girl, how are you? Oh, Tracy, you said something good. You said sharing heals other, and it further heals you in the process. That's exactly what it is. When you share, there's a part of you that heals. So it's not like anybody's perfect and they've arrived. We're all in the process and the journey. You sharing is just another part of that journey, but it's helping somebody that might be at the beginning of that journey. You can't hold it in because, what they gonna say about me? You know how people are. You know what they say. And you know what? We get so caught up about what people say, we keep our mouth closed. And we don't realize that we are holding somebody else back from their breakthrough. And you literally got to think of it like that. You're literally holding somebody back from their breakthrough by not sharing. So, like I said, the topic is just an illusion. Let's start walking more in our truth, taking an assessment of where we are and understanding that from where we are, we're on a journey. We're on a process. And yes, this is where we want to be, right? And there's nothing wrong with saying, okay, I'm going to be that. This is where I'm going. This is what I'm heading to. But I'm still working towards it. Because if you pretend like you're already at where you say you want to be, and you don't get the necessary tools, resources, connections, people around you, the necessary knowledge, if you're not getting the things you need to get you where you're going because you're in an altered reality, you're not going to go anywhere, and you're going to stay in a dream. I used to tell people all the time that it's nothing wrong with being a dreamer. I told y'all my story. I used to think that being a dreamer was bad, but let me tell you why I thought that. I thought that because I thought, well, life happens, you got to deal in reality, blah, 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 blah. My new thought process is both and, right? Both and. I can deal in reality and also be a dreamer. And how does that work? Well, again, faith is dead without works, okay? And works will only take you a certain way, but faith will take you to the rest of the way. So even with the dreaming part, I can be a dreamer, but I have to put action to those things. If I say I want to be an actress, well, what am I doing? Am I taking headshots? Am I talking to agents? Am I talking to other actors? Am I part of different groups to see what's available? What am I doing that lines up with what I say I want to go? What am I doing that is lining up with what I say? I cannot say I'm a billionaire or, and I'm still missing out on bills. And not only am I missing out on bills and having late payments, but a step further, I'm not trying to fix those things. That's the basic thing that I can do. I should be able to take care of what I'm taking care of and be in a path. I could say, you know what, I'm still struggling in my financial journey, but I am I looked up all the resources. I actually have a plan and this plan is a projected plan that's going to give me where I need to go. But I can respect that 10 times more than the person that says, hey, I'm this is what I'm going to be. I'm going to just speak it into existence. That's not how it happens. And I'm trying to get us to get out of this disillusioned place, right? I want us to be in a place where we're sober minded. I want us to be in a place where we are saying, you know what? I am not, maybe I'm not, I haven't arrived yet, but I am in my journey, in my process, on my journey to becoming, right? Becoming who I need to be so I can stand in that light. And these are the things, these are the tools, these are the resources, these are the connections I need. And because of my truth about where I'm currently at, I can access what my inventory is so that when I get to said place, I actually am prepared. I actually am what I can, and I actually can get there and be prepared with everything I need to be effective. The worst thing you want in the world, and I see people do this all the time. We all know somebody that lied on their resume, right? I guess we all, let's be honest, I guess we all have lied a little bit on our resume. I don't do a whole lot of it because I don't like people to believe that I can do something I can't do. Okay, I've heard people say, oh, just put that on there and people will really, they'll be okay. I'm sure you can do it. Listen, I've had people, I don't know what it is about me. I've had people, if I try that, I tried it one time and I said, oh, I let agency put on my resume that I did this already. And I'm telling you, this place is ready to hire me. They did 2 or 3 interviews with me. In the last interview, they said, oh, okay, we're going to have you over our desktop support department. I said, wait a minute, sir, excuse me, what? Now, mind you, I never did desktop support, but I knew it wasn't that much to do. And I'm just like, but I could learn it if I had somebody teaching it to me. But you see that they was about to throw me into this position, something I've never done. And they were going to expect me to not only learn it, but to learn it well enough to then teach the people they were going to hire under me. Excuse me, sir, no. Let me raise my hand, put my church finger up and sneak out the back of the church. No, you're not going to set me up. No. You're not going to bring me in here, act like I'm telling the whole story about my life. I am not going to set myself up for that. I don't like that type of pressure. And unfortunately, I see a lot of people that don't have the integrity enough to say no. Don't let anybody push you into a position you're not ready for yet. Or don't let anybody say something about where you're at and you're not there because they want to speak goodness into your life and over you. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. But you got to be ready for whatever. And that's what the process is for. You have to be ready for what you say you want. I'll give you another example. I remember I used to say, oh, I wanted to have a building. I wanted to own a building when I first was buying a house. And I remember I decided at the last minute, no, I'm just going to get, a regular unit place. And I'm sure I could have figured it out. But at the time, my concern is that although it made business sense, I don't think I was mentally and emotionally ready for what that was going to bring to me. I just don't think I was. And people were like, well, you missed out on this. And I'm like, I understand what that can look like as a perception financially. I understand if you look at me, you think, oh, she's intelligent, she could have figured it out. I probably could have figured it out. But you got to be honest about where you currently are. Take your inventory and know where you're at. I, Paris Johnson, at that time, did not think I was ready to be a landlord. I didn't even know how to be an homeowner. So for me, no, I don't want to be thrust into the process. Would it have been a good situation potentially because I could have had this pay for that? Understood. I just don't think I was mentally ready to take on that load. And you got to know where you're at. Everything is not a fear thing, right? Sometimes people are like, well, you should just push yourself. Listen, I'm all about pushing yourself, but you also have to know where you're at so you don't break yourself. Everybody's not having a nervous breakdown because they just have demons. Everybody's not just having a nervous breakdown because they just, chose the wrong way. Sometimes we are pushed into places we're not ready yet for. I'm talking about being a landlord and stuff. I wasn't ready for that yet. There are some people that become millionaires overnight from the lottery. Why do they always have the curse of the lottery? Ain't no curse. You didn't know how to manage money before. And most of the times, if you're going to play the lottery, I digress because I know the Powerball is going on right now. But most times, if you don't know how to manage money before you get a lot of money, you're still going to mismanage it after you get a lot of money. That doesn't change just because, you know, you came into something. I see business owners all the time that get a whole lot of overnight success and it overwhelms them. And you're thinking, well, they should be able to handle it because this is what they wanted. Yes, but if they didn't prepare for the influx of orders, they're not going to be able to keep up. And I've seen businesses literally crumble up under that type of pressure. So the very thing that you say you want, you have to be careful. I know people, I want a family right now. I want, you know, they come out of high school. I want a family and I want, you know, I want 17 kids and I want this and that. And they don't realize that it takes a lot to be able to step under that. It takes a certain grace. And if you want it, I'm sure you can handle it and do it. But guess what? It's not going to always be easy. There are people that crumble under that. Postpartum depression is a real thing. Depression, period. When you're in a place that you wanted to be in, but you still didn't realize that you were probably not as whole as you thought you were. And so now you're in a place that you said you wanted to be, and you're not really happy. And then that ties back into this whole illusion thing. What's your reality versus what you're showing? You know, I'm showing everybody I'm this successful person, this and that, but I go home and cry myself to sleep every night and have to drink a whole bottle, you know, of liquor in order to get to sleep. If that's your reality, what it looks like to everybody else versus what it is, two different things, and it's driving you crazy trying to keep up with it. And I'm saying drop the illusion. Who's the illusion for? Them? It's only hurting you because you know the truth. You know your truth. I don't have a facade to carry for you. That's exhausting. It's already a lot being who you are and walking in God-given gifts that you are. But now I have to pretend I'm something I'm not to make you feel good about it, or no. Excuse me. No. I resign. I resign from that position. I do not, and you do not have to sign up for that. I think that's why a lot of people don't live full lives because they're still steady worrying about what everybody thinks about what they're doing and how well they're doing. And they don't even know how they feel like they're doing. They haven't taken their own assessment. They didn't realize that their own voice is more important than how everybody else sees you, you know? And it's so easy on social media to get caught up, right? So super easy for you to get caught up in looking at how other people are doing. And then we talked about comparison last week, right? We talked about the trap of comparison, how it's easy to watch what other people do and then realize, and then put yourself up against them and say, oh, I'm not where I'm supposed to be. I'm not, you know, what I'm doing, what I'm supposed to do yet. And I haven't got there yet. And now you get into this rhythm where you are trying to create this illusion that you've already arrived because of what you see other people have done. And you're not yet there, and it's driving you crazy. How do you get out of that? Well, how do I get out of that, Paris? I've been doing it for years. I don't even know where to start. Well, first start being honest with yourself. Take your inventory. What is your truth? I was watching an episode of Hoarders, and I don't normally watch it. So I don't watch TV. Not that there's anything wrong. I don't have a TV in my room. I just don't have time to watch TV normally. But I was relaxing this weekend, and I was online, and I watched a little clip of Hoarders. And what I started to see, I love seeing out these new lenses of like mental health because I see how it affects every part of your life. And one of the things is that anybody that's a hoarder, there's a mental health issue under it, right? And they were talking about, different situations. This one lady, she hadn't let Her children had not been in her house in 15 years. 15 years. Did you hear that? Her own blood children have not been inside her house for 15 years. And so what she used to do, I was like, how did that, they live in different states? Nope. What happened is when she would come pick them up, or when they would come pick her up, she would be outside ready already. She would make an excuse about this or that, or she'd go out to their place. And she spent all this time putting up a facade that everything was okay. Had they had gotten her house a lot sooner, they would have saw how she was living, how bad it had gotten, what she was doing. And she just didn't want them to know because she was embarrassed. And I think that we look at people like that and say, oh my God, I can't believe that they live like this. But I believe that she was hoarding physical stuff that matched the mental stuff and the emotional stuff that she wouldn't deal with. And I believe we have a lot more people that are emotional hoarders. I'm going to speak on that one day. That's going to be a topic. I'm going to write that down. I believe we have much more emotional hoarders and mental hoarders than we really want to think about and talk about. We are holding on to stuff from our past and we are not sorting through it. And so you can't heal if you won't acknowledge it. Right? And so you first have to do that step. So taking the inventory is necessary. And I know when they were helping the young lady that the first thing they had to do was take an inventory of everything she had so they could know what the next step would be. So the first step is taking the inventory, getting real with where you're at and saying like, okay, if you want to be a homeowner, it's no harm in saying I'm not a homeowner yet, but these are the things I want to do to become that. These are the things I'm trying to set up for myself, blah, blah, blah. There's nothing wrong with that. And if you are in an apartment, you have to be a good, what do they say? You have to be a good steward over what you have in order to get something better. Like, be good at what you have. Don't despise what you have. I can't stand. This is the only thing I have. This is all I have. You're not going to get anywhere if you can't be appreciative and content with where you're at first, which is why I am stressing we have to live in a reality and not an illusion of what we want it to be. It is good to have hopes and dreams and wants and desires, but you cannot act as though you already arrived because you will forego the process that is necessary to make you or to allow you to become who you need to be in that next seat in your life. So I really hope that y'all got this. I think that's all I wanted to share. I hope this was helpful. Because I had to reassess what I now believe, right? I used to have the harsher thought process that, oh, where you're at is where you're at. That's all it is. And stop dreaming, stop thinking all of these. But now that I am a dreamer again, I've resurrected the dreamer in me. That part of me is definitely real. I do believe in affirmations. I do believe in positive talk. I do believe in speaking where you want to be. I do believe in speaking into your future. I believe all of that. But in believing that, I can still say where I currently am at without having any negative connotations to it. I can definitely say that, I'm not a homeowner yet. However, I am in the process of becoming one, and I'm doing everything I need to do to be that. And so these are the things I need to do because you need to be able to assess what you need to get where you need to go. And that's how we walk into 2021 being the best version of ourselves possible, because we do the work. Kiana said it earlier. We do the work, y'all. We can't sit out here and fly by night. We got to do the work. The processing is necessary. It's so necessary. As much as I really wish school was over with already, school is necessary. I started classes back today. Pray for me, y'all. Pray for me, y'all. And I say all this, and I got pretty good grade. I got 2 A's last semester. Woo. But still, pray for me because it's a lot. But these classes, I'm excited. I'm actually taking some psychology classes. Woo. These classes are necessary to develop me. They're necessary. So what if somebody decided to just give me a degree? Would I be able to do what I need to do well? No, I wouldn't. No, I need to be processed. These classes are going to continue to develop me. Develop me. I heard somebody, I think my pastor said it. He said, there's too many premature babies Too many preemies coming out. And nothing wrong with premature babies if you ever had one, but they have to usually go through the NIC, the NIC unit. They usually have to stay in the hospital a little bit longer. They have difficulties coming because they came before their time. Like, we have to stop coming before our time and understand that the part where we were in the belly being birthed, that was necessary. We're gonna stay in the mama's belly as long as we can, being prepared so that when we come out, we are ready and we have everything we need. That's all I want for you guys. I want you to be birthed at the right time. So, like, stay in the process as long as possible. You come out a little bit premature, we'll deal with that. But let's just stay in the process as long as possible. Stay in that reality. Be in the process so that when you get to your next, you're prepared. That's what I want to talk about today. Y'all, we in this to win it. I love you guys. I hope this helped you all out. If you just getting on, please go ahead and back. I'm about to post it, so you can go back and watch the beginning of it. So if you're watching the beginning of it, please, 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 if you're watching it later and you didn't catch it live, please type replay so I can know that you're watching it. It just helps me out. It really would. And any comments you have, I read all comments. Everything that you put on here, I read them all. So anything that you have to say about the subject will be helpful, because it's a conversation, y'all. I'm not trying to talk to myself. It's us talking to each other. So definitely do that. Please share, like, comment, and share. I didn't used to say all that stuff because I didn't think it was necessary, but I do understand how Facebook works, and I just want to get it out to more, and YouTube. I wanted to get it out to more people as possible that can help out. So yeah, like, comment, and share. Please share it on your timeline. Share it or tag your friends, and it'll be, so they can look at it if you know anybody that can use any type of help like this. And then how I always end it out. You are enough. You are enough to be who exactly you are right now, without the bells and whistles, without having to exaggerate it, without having to have a facade. Where you at right now in life, you're enough. Nothing you don't have to add anything to you for you to be enough right where you're at. And sometimes we do that because we don't feel like we're enough. You see how this ties into so many things? Y'all, I'm going to say this to y'all, believe it. And y'all see I got my shirt on. You are enough. Sorry, the earrings. If you want to get this shirt, check out www.parispjohnson.com. It's going across the bottom. And you can check it out and order a shirt, and I'll ship it out to you guys. I got a few of them on there, but yeah. And I'm going to say it to you, believe it. You're enough for me to love you. Nobody else say it, because I know some people don't get to hear it. I'm going to say I love you. You're enough for God to love you. And yeah, this is how we get down. It's Tuesday. I'll see you guys Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Same place, same time. Yeah, I'll see you Thursday. I should have a surprise for you for Thursday, hopefully. But I'll see you Thursday at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks for rocking with me again. Y'all have an amazing day.